Hello, and welcome to another episode of the You Are Not Alone podcast. My name is Debbie Gold, and I'm here with my co-host and son, Greg, and we are so glad that you're here with us. Each week on this show, we will talk about informative issues that will make you think and help you grow. It is our wish that you will find hope, encouragement, and a little bit of Jesus in every episode. Hey y'all, welcome back to the show. Glad you're here today. Greg and I did take a little bit of a break.
Took a little 2-week break. Mom's been working on another project, and she's been working hard on it.
Yeah. Been gone a lot, and had to put my attention there for a little bit. It's almost wrapped up, but wanted to get back to the podcast for sure, because we have great things to say and want to share with
so
you.
many more episodes to do and so many more topics and stuff like that. So.
Right. And so anyway, but today we're going to be talking about technology detox, the control, temptations, the dangers of it.
Yeah.
Who's really in control of our screens?
Or is the screen in control of you?
Yes, exactly. So we are in a world of screens, clearly.
It's everywhere.
Devices and digital distractions. And it's easy to get lost in them. Mm-hmm. And they do provide connection. They provide excitement. They provide escape. And through the screen, the world is at our fingertips. But at what cost?
Right.
So my question is this. Are we truly more connected? What is technology doing to our minds, our lives, and our relationships?
There's so much to go off that, because there's the good and the bad and the ugly, just like the movie. Because, you've seen how the world has advanced with technology. You can pay at the grocery store with just tapping your phone or something like that, tapping a card to the machine. Mm-hmm. You've seen the gas station. There's this one gas station near where we live where you put your food on the thing and it tells you how much it cost or whatever.
You put it on a pad and it kind of gives you the total.
Yeah, you showed me.
It doesn't kind of.
Are you kidding me? I was like,
and you can select you can pay cash and stick your money in, or you can just put your card in.
There's digital currency and stuff like that. So there's a lot of good from it, but then there's also the bad, where it's kids are as young as 6 years old have access to iPhones, the entire internet, which has everything you could ever think of on it.
Yeah, which is
bad,
so
good.
Scary.
Yeah,
because their young minds
don't know, and if they see something,
they can't decipher good, bad, and
they can't tell which is which. Mm-hmm. So there's that. There's if your bank account is online and it gets hacked. that's another thing.
Yeah,
because I've been in times where I've had to make landscape transactions with my money, and if it doesn't go through, it's it's gone, because it's electronic.
Or you send it off to the wrong person by accident. You can't get it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Venmo.
Yeah, and then there's the ugly part too, where it's it can take control of people's lives. It can do damage, but it could also do a lot of good. So it's a two-edged sword.
Double-edged sword, for sure.
Yeah, double-edged sword.
Yeah. So are we really in control of our screens, or are they an obsession? Are they an idol? Are they an addiction? Ooh. Yeah. Good question.
I feel like they can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I could say it's, for me personally, obsession. It can be an idol, and it can be an addiction. And in the Bible, the Lord says, you shall have no idols before me. Mm-hmm. And that really makes me think. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of people can idolize, movies, video games, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you can idol a lot of things.
Yeah.
But if you put all that before God, then
it doesn't really mean anything, because it's, it's really not real. So. Well,
but it's also, the Bible says not to do that.
Exactly.
So when I'm playing video games and I'm putting, am I putting my time, am I getting my time in with the Lord? Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. And if I'm not, well, that's become an idol for me.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying like that.
Anyway, it's time, I think, that we just reevaluate our use, and that is what we're going to talk about today. Mm-hmm. Did I mention that I was at church 3 or 4 weeks ago, and this sermon, this is what they talked about in the sermon. Mm-hmm. It was so powerful.
You came home with this piece of paper, and you were like, I'm going to start this tech detox thing. And I was like, okay, I've heard of that before, kind of. And I've just seen you, go through it, and you've just become a productive bunny.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
It's so true. It is so true.
I see you up at 6 in the morning, typing away. I'm like, whoa.
I didn't know I had so much energy.
It's insane.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's exactly true, Greg.
Yeah.
And so do you have control of your digital device, or do they have control over you? So here's a little thing I would like you to do. Go ahead and get your phone out. Everyone that's listening, and you too, Greg, please. Okay. And if you go to, I'm doing an iPhone, but you all know how to do this on your phone, but you go to settings.
Is it screen time?
Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit about this in an earlier episode that we did on this.
Okay, so my daily average is 5 hours and 14 minutes.
Okay, so...
Yours is about 4 hours and 17 minutes, so that's
not
that bad.
That's for today. Mm-hmm. Ooh, it just popped up to 4:51.
See all activity, 27% down from last week.
And you can do the day-to-days.
Oh, yeah.
You can click on those. So
you can do like your most used.
Right. So there's a lot of information, and we're not going to sit and go through all of that, but I would, later in the episode, we're going to talk about how you can start evaluating what's going on with your screen time. But right. This is a great place to go to.
Just to check it out.
And check it out.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah, that's all I got. Let's move on. Sorry, I'm kidding. I was going to add something and I decided not to. Do you ever do that?
Yeah, all the time.
Kind of fumble over your words?
You're just thinking, forget about it.
Never mind. I don't think that's a good place for that. Yeah. So here's what I want. I want you to ask yourself, am I in control of my phone, or is my phone in control of me? And your challenge for today is this. I want everyone to take charge of your screen habits. And I want you to critically analyze and evaluate your screen use by using what we just talked about. Technology gives us so much, but it's up to us to decipher what and how much we want in our lives. There's so much for us to do on our phones. It's like over the top, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's not enough time in a day to be on your phone all day long and still get to use everything that it can do. Right? So, one way to evaluate yourself is think about, what you're using, like your apps. I guess that would be, your email. Yeah,
like are you using your phone to use it, or are you just playing with it?
Right, exactly. So what is helpful? Look at the apps that are helpful for you. Like for me, it's like Life 360, so I can track the family, see where everybody is.
The calendar app,
yeah.
Calculator.
Yep. My email app is good for me.
Let's see, messages. I guess some social media. Mm-hmm. Not like all social media. I guess like.
What would be a helpful one, or a use of a helpful?
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah,
excellent. I just downloaded Nextdoor Valente this morning. Mm-hmm. I have the Bible app. That's a good one.
Yep.
I have the podcast app, the Apple Podcast app. So you should download that. You can listen to us on here.
There you go. Right.
I mean, I have a fitness app. I don't use that, but I mean, that could be useful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of good things you can use it for.
Right. So those are the things that maybe are helpful. Then there's things that are mandatory, and that's.
Do I have any games on here? I don't. Wow, I've grown up.
That's yeah.
Dang.
Yay.
I was checking. I was like, wow, I don't have any games on my phone. That's crazy.
So the other thing is what's mandatory. So we talked about what is helpful. Think about those apps. Mm-hmm. And then what is mandatory. For me, mandatory is like...
Your alarm clock.
Alarm clock, yes. Thank you. My school, like getting notices from the high school about, homecoming is coming up and all that stuff, and what's happening just in the school community.
Like yeah.
My financial management apps, like our bank and our investments, and I have apps for all that
Stocks,
stuff.
That's another good app. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For my work, I have rental properties, so I've got to be able to let people message me and get in communication with me, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. for you, mandatory would be your college apps, if you have college apps, or your I don't know, what else?
College apps. I mean, some colleges have like school apps too.
Like you said, you downloaded Nextdoor looking for potential work.
Yeah, for small jobs
side jobs.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
We were talking about that. So, I mean, you can use a lot of resources. So.
And then there's what are the apps that are your time sucks? And that for me is, just a waste of time, period. And I came to decide that my gaming, Candy Crush, any word games that I would play, those became a waste of time for me, a real time suck. And anyway, I'll tell you what I decided to do with all that. But so things that really suck up your time, but really not necessary.
Mm-hmm. I feel like YouTube is like, it's good and bad for me too, because I listen to like podcasts and stuff and people talk on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I also learn like videos about the world and like current events and stuff like that too. But then I can also like go down this rabbit hole of watching one video that's like useless, it just kills time or something. And then I click on the next video and then it kills time. So you kind of have to like control it. So
yeah. Like you can get down that little cycle of addiction and
I'll just keep
in a
watching
moment there
videos that are useless,
Yeah.
But you could be watching videos that, tell you something or you learn something from it. So
yeah, so that can be gotta learn how to manage that when you don't want to get rid of it, but you want to use it for things that can be productive and helpful and increase your knowledge. I think that's what you use a lot of that for.
Yeah. So I mean, I learned so much from just listening to other people talk.
Right. So that's the other thing. What needs to be limited? YouTube is a good example of that. Yeah. So basically, think about what's helpful, what is mandatory, what is a time sucker, a waste of time for you, and what needs to be limited. Mm-hmm. So that'll be a good exercise for you. All of us were supposed to come together with the promise of technology. And I remember it was in 1993 that the internet came out. Yeah. And then in 1999, texting was introduced.
Ah, okay.
Let's communicate. Let's text instead of picking up the phone, because picking up the phone takes a lot more time.
Don't do it.
2006, social media started with Facebook. And so, there's all these promises that it's going to bring us all together. But I think I would beg to differ there, because we have become maybe more divided than ever before.
Oh, absolutely.
I think of it, at home, maybe even politically. Do you have any thoughts of how maybe we've become more divided?
Oh my gosh. Fake media, biased news, biased media, social media companies with a left or a right agenda. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And with the use of social media, that's where it's being spread, good or bad. But right now, politics, it's just bad. So because that's how they divide people, bad stuff. So they're just forcing it all over social media. So.
Yeah. I don't remember politics ever being so divided as they are today.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a right or a wrong.
I remember
it's a good or a bad. I
remember when I was like younger and Obama was in president. Some people like disagreed with him and stuff. I got that. But nobody was at each other's throats like this.
Yeah.
So it's insane today.
It's gone
way too far.
Yeah, I'm reminded to turn my phone down.
Oh, that was me.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's see. I think I would love to share actually some of the commitments, what the church had given us a handout, and I want to share. And they asked us to do it just for 7 days to see what your world felt like.
Oh, yeah.
So, just take it 7 days. Mm-hmm. I said no technology use except for work-related tasks.
Which is pretty hard.
So I did not go to, like my Facebook or my Instagram.
Did you even watch the news or anything, or?
Well, I could. So my big downfall was watching the news and playing Candy Crush. Yeah, and I could spend a couple hours doing that every day. Mm-hmm. And I decided that was a waste of my time. And so what I did was social media was for work only. So posting our podcasts on Facebook, on Instagram, new new podcast dropped kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I took all my game apps off my phone.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
And the other thing I didn't want to do anymore, because sometimes I'd lay in bed and watch TV at night before I fell asleep, and I couldn't fall asleep.
Really?
And so, I mean, it would keep me up. The truth is, it kept me up longer. I was in denial about that. But I would not go into my bedroom, and I would just go straight to bed. That was it.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah. And then I even took Nextdoor off. I've got it back on because I'm trying to buy some different kinds of furnitures and different things for this project. But but I did that as well. So and then the apps that I said I needed to use because they were in that mandatory category, or the helpful category, and that was like the high school, my emails, music, because music you gotta have. For me, I gotta have Christian music or country. Mm-hmm. You too.
Yeah, I've got music.
Yeah, dead music. The weather, I gotta know what's going on with the weather.
That's good too.
I gotta have my travel apps. Dad and I went on our road trip, so I needed my Google Maps and all that stuff.
Delete that stuff. Yeah.
I need my banking stuff and my podcast, like you had mentioned too. Mm-hmm. So what happened from all of that was my life really changed a lot. Mm-hmm. I was going to bed earlier. I was getting up earlier as a result. I was more productive because I wasn't playing, games upon awakening. And I would get into the office and, start working on my things that I do. Yeah. So my whole life changed. It just changed. And for me, it was just being more productive. I think the other side of all of this is, so you're going to have more time on your hands, right?
Mm-hmm. A lot more.
Have to think about what you're going to do with it. Mm-hmm. And some of the things that I did was spending more time with God and studying the Bible and doing Bible studies and praying. I went to Barnes and Nobles and I picked up a couple books so I could read. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you have to have something to do, right?
Yeah.
And I chose not to do like the books on your audiobooks or any of that. I really wanted to have that physical book. And since then, I've also joined a book club. So now I'm committed to reading. Mm-hmm. And I think spending more time with friends and neighbors.
Mm-hmm. That's another good thing, too. Yeah.
I paint, one of the things I want to still do, which I haven't, but I'm painting the office here that we're sitting in. And, I'm actually been working out at the gym a lot more. I'm pretty consistent with 3 and 4 times a week.
Yeah.
So and the key word there was consistent.
It has to be consistency.
Yeah, because it wasn't before.
Yeah, consistency is the best way to do it at the gym. Because once you start, you just can't stop. It's hard to stop. So you get in that cycle. Yeah.
So what would be some things if you were to cut back on?
I mean,
and where would you cut back?
Okay, you always get on me about the gaming.
I
mean, I don't know. I really, it gets me upset because it's like, okay, you're kicking me off the video games. Okay, I'm like,
well, I'm not. I'm saying something to you which you feel guilty, and then you'd get off.
Well, yeah, but it's like, it's kind of just fun. I wake up and I explore the mountains. I mean, you don't get it at all. I get it.
That's what I did with Candy Crush. I wake up. No, I know exactly what you're going through.
No, I'm gonna wake up.
You're
and
not
just
alone.
Immediately do that, but like. You have to experience like the beauty of the game to kind of understand it. So, but it's hard. But cutting back, I guess, on gaming, I guess sometimes, and more informational stuff on YouTube, I guess, and less videos that just waste my time. So
just random
stuff. Yeah. So.
Okay. And then also. Maybe other things like outside, like you were talking today about getting, trying to pick up some little odd jobs.
Yeah.
And that's
the next
that's something.
Yeah, for sure. Make some easy side money. So, and I love doing that stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. So I just kind of, I guess, want to just say that tech takes away from our attention.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it does.
And, it's a screen versus being with a friend, or being with family, or it's a screen versus serving in the community. Another thing that you could do more.
Can I say something about that attention span thing? Mm-hmm. So TikTok, TikTok. Everybody knows TikTok.
Yeah.
You love it or hate it. I hate it. It's like 7 seconds to 15 seconds video clips, which is like the max you can do. Mm-hmm. So imagine every single video that you see is like 7 to 15 seconds. So that's really quick, right?
Yeah.
The next video comes up, you just scroll like that, and then 7 to 15 seconds. So each video, 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, you're just scrolling. Your attention span after a full day of like 8 hours of just this, just boom, 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 your attention span just goes to crap. It's why I can see that. It's why I see so many kids in class, like at school, I'm like, holy cow.
Right.
So, and that's why we're having younger kids with attention deficit problems today. We're having more, prescriptions are being pumped out to younger kids with attention span issues and stuff.
Yeah.
Take the phone away. He's 6.
Right.
He's a little young for that.
Well, you get mesmerized into that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And that's the addiction right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
I can go on Instagram and just do.
Yeah.
So it's insane. So just your attention span just goes to mush after
It's making me dizzy.
Yeah. I don't do that, but...
Yeah, but I can see people doing it.
I found Chase asleep with his phone on his face.
He does
and his TikTok was still on. He was like, it was just repeating the same sound. I was like, how is he not in a trance?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah. So you love our technology, but
it's cool, but you gotta respect it. You gotta have it. You gotta use with responsibility.
Absolutely.
Just like the little beer warnings, drink responsibly.
Yes.
It should have that with technology.
Yeah.
Use responsibly.
Totally.
Something like that.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, how much time is technology or the screens taking from your life? I think technology is great for learning, advancing your life, being productive, etc. But when it comes to messing up your life and holding you back and keeping you from those areas of being productive and advancing and learning, I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't enjoy your phone and those silly, YouTube things or whatever, but got to figure out a way to manage it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, I know one of the things they did, and I can't. They would put a video at church. They put a video up, say, 2 people sitting, like 2 friends are at lunch, and what do you guys do when you're together?
Who, me and my buddy?
Not you and your buddy. I've seen young people, and I see everybody do it, all ages.
Like waiting on my food or something?
Yeah, say you're waiting for your food at a restaurant with a friend or your mom, me.
Me and my buddy are at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
We're waiting.
What are you doing? Typically
checking the time, checking the time when I have to be back, and sometimes talking to him, and then we get our food, and then we put our phones down.
Okay, but you still are on your phone.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, I've seen sad examples where it's like a 90-year-old couple, where it's like the grandparents are eating out with the daughter, the daughter's on an iPad, and the parents are just eating, and I'm like, you guys don't know how lucky you are to, cherish that time with your grandparents.
Right.
So, and you're just on an iPad.
Yeah.
Come on.
And if you were to take that phone away, you know what that would look like?
Meltdown. Or...
Well, just imagine, I'm not explaining this well. So let's say there's 2 people sitting together, what's a good example? Well, eating together, and you're eating, but you're on your phone constantly. Erase that phone. It's going to look like this. No one's looking at each other.
Yeah.
They're sitting there like looking at their hand.
They're looking down.
Yeah, they're looking down, and there's no eye contact. There's none.
Small conversation is hard to get by nowadays.
So whenever you go out and just observe people,
it's crazy.
Just sit there and watch them, and imagine that when they're on their phones like that. Imagine those phones being
invisible.
blank. Yeah, invisible. Yeah. Thank you. And it's gonna look funny.
Yeah.
That's not how we were created.
You also just realize how many people are on their phones. It's like, oh my goodness, it's crazy.
It is nuts.
It's nuts
it really
to
is.
realize. So
yeah.
When you look at like how many people people are waiting in line, they're just on their phones. People are crossing the street, they're on their phone. Like, you're crossing the street, you're on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, put your safety first. Come on.
Anyway, so I have to say, tech is dangerous. And it's with us 24/7. Do we spend any time with anybody in our lives 24/7? No. But our phones. Interesting. Yeah. It's highly addictive, right? It stimulates the good hormones and, dopamine. Wants us to come back and get more. And it keeps you locked in. And it's manipulative. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I want everyone to really consider what we were talking about today and think about putting yourself in control of your phone screen and technology today. So, here's just a couple things you can maybe consider too. Sit at lunch with a friend with your phone down. So just don't pick that phone up.
Yeah.
How hard is that going to be?
I mean, if it's with the right friend, not hard at all. I just get a converse started. But
if you, I think it's become such a habit to start,
a habit, yeah,
or to pick up that phone and just see what's going on real quick.
It's 100% habit.
So go have lunch with a friend or someone in your family and leave the phone in your bag
or your car or something. Yeah.
At night when you go to bed, leave the phone in the kitchen.
Oh yeah. Just kind of train yourself.
Yeah, just try some different things. Be a passenger in a car and leave your phone down. Don't touch your phone.
Talk to the driver.
Put it in the glove compartment if you have to,
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
Take the steps you have to take.
Yeah. So lots of information today, I think, but this to me was life-changing. And honestly, it wasn't really that hard for me. Honestly, it wasn't hard. Yeah. Because I identified some things that I can, use to replace my time that I was on my phone. Mm-hmm. And once I had my head wrapped around that, working out more, reading books, finding projects I can do, it wasn't bad at all. Because I do like to keep myself busy, you know that.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy and I'm productive and I feel like I have my life back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good.
So anyway, I guess that's our show for today, and we're glad you were here listening. Try to encourage your friends to follow us and
hit the subscribe button.
Right.
If you're listening to this, you can, I already said subscribe, but share with your friends. Mm-hmm. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, thanks again for being here today. We love you guys and hope this was helpful.
And remember,
you are not alone.